Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Yakmanakawath out there, pursuing this truth diligently. We're back at it again with the lesson, part 2 of the mini-series I ended up titling as The Stepping Stones of the NWO. All right, of course, NWO is a acronym for New World Order, which is what these elites, these 13 families are really trying to usher in. And like I said, when I started that lesson yesterday, I didn't have a title for it. But after I closed out, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai, that title got sent on me. So call all Yahweh Shemi Shai for that. And it's real because when we were dealing with it, we were looking at the AI. It talked about stepping stone technology, right? And that's what we were talking about mostly yesterday was stepping stone technology. Of course, in reference to this lesson I still have up by the beloved Apostle Gabar, titled GMS Mailbag Episode 2, Kings of the Earth Set Themselves. The Kings of the Earth Set Themselves, United Nations Pact for the Future. Now, this United Nations Pact for the Future, if you're more interested about that, really what I implore you to do is just watch this lesson. It's only an hour and 13 minutes long, but there was a while back ago that I myself made a lesson. I don't remember what I titled it. It was titled... let's see. I don't remember necessarily what I titled it. Oh, here it is. The Pact for the Future document is Framework for Digital ID and MOTB. All right, of course, an acronym for Mark of the Beast. And basically went in on it. And the lady that was in there, she was a little crazy. All right, she was basically saying some stuff that it didn't say verbatim, which I of course exclaimed in that lesson. I don't really like when these Edomites do shit like that, right? What they do is they go on the like, oh, and here's the Project 2025 document, and it says he's going to have everybody hung up by their necks and stripped and killed. Well, it doesn't say that, though. It doesn't say that verbatim, right? And you don't want to put something that has true, fact, real stuff in it and try to put a lie in it, because then when people hear that and they go and look it up, it makes you think that the whole document is some bullshit, right? So that's why you have to speak truthfully, all right? We have to speak truthfully. And, but again, the apostles aren't wrong by putting out those lessons. What that lady saying is wrong, but if you look into the document, as we did in this lesson, it's an hour and 3-minute lesson, the framework is there, right? It's just not the way that she's saying it, all right? It's talking about getting everybody linked up to the digital system, all right? It's like the apostle says, I believe in this lesson or the lesson I might have watched today. You watch all these lessons, I can't, tell you which one he said it in. But he was saying, it's like the Internet of Things, but it's going to be the Internet of Bodies, right? So it's basically, they want to turn people into fucking cyborgs, man. They want to turn you into a bunch of Terminators. And it seems crazy to say a Terminator, but, it's going to be one of those things. They want to flick the switch and have you fucking bug out. All right, you over here, must kill. Give me a... What was it? Give me a Colt, your gun, and your motorcycle, or however he said. I can't remember what he asked for his gun. Give me your coat, and first Terminator. Give me your motorcycle, Terminator. Quote. What was it? I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. That's what it was. All right. Oh, I guess that was from the second one, right? Here, I'll play a little clip of it.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
And basically, he goes on to fucking absolutely, whoop their ass and kill some of them, right? Of course, because he was naked, because he's a Terminator, right? And if they want to turn you into Arnold, man, they're going to be able to do it because you're going to have that digital device in you. All right, they're going to flip a switch, have you bugging out and saying, I need your coat, your boots, and your motorcycle. You're like, what the fuck's up with this guy? He wasn't acting like this a minute ago. Or another good example is for you brothers and sisters that watch the Fallout. Now, if you've been around the channel a lot, you know that I like Fallout. Fallout and Elder Scrolls are like my 2 favorite series. Coincidentally, both made by Bethesda back when they could make games worth of shit. And, not that it matters, but Fallout 3 is my favorite out of all of them. New Vegas is good. I know New Vegas is the fan favorite, but I think 3, specifically 3, okay, without the DLC, 3 falls a little bit flat, but I think 3 with the there's a DLC for it. Not that it really matters. Fallout 3 DLC. There's one that, not Operation Anchorage. That one sucked. The Pit was good. Point Lookout was good. Broken Steel. Our Mothership is that it was Broken Steel. Right? It says, unlike the other DLCs that take place during the main game, this continues the story after the events. You team up with the Brotherhood of Steel to wipe out the remaining Enclave forces. And, because before at the end, it would just end. Right? And everybody's like, the end. But that added, with specifically the Broken Steel DLC, it's the best one. But if you're playing it just without any DLC, New Vegas is the best. Right? But anyway, not that really matters. But Fallout Season 2, not Fallout 2, the game, but Fallout Season 2, chip. Right? Because they have a brain chip. Right? They literally have a brain chip. And you can see a little bit from this video, right? Sticks in the back of his brain. And then what they're able to do with that is essentially he has this little controller. Right? He has this little controller that's in his hand. And basically he can make him do, whatever they want to, whatever he wants. Okay? When he has that little chip, he puts it, he's on the back of your head, on the back of your neck. Right? And they'll give you $1 million or whatever. But you put it there and you turn up the frequency and you can basically control them. All right? I'm not going to play the clip because, it's still a new show. And then I'm sure they'll fucking try to take the video down. But anyway, he slaps it on the back of his head when he gets closer because, again, they're trying to fight him. I'm not going to tell you necessarily who he is. But he's not Hank. That's a different guy. But like I said, I watched the show, all right? Because, again, Fallout, if you're a guy who likes playing video games or a gal who likes playing video games, I'd recommend play the video games, too. Because I've always been a fan, even before the Truth. And when I came in the Truth and started playing them, and I've mentioned this before, those have been around the channel, when I started playing them in this Truth again, I said, oh, shit. That's the the secret council of the wicked, those are the elites, those people over there are these guys, this is this guy, that's something they're actually trying to do, this is an experiment they're really working on, that's the chip, all these different types of things, right? They all start lining up, real, the brothers had a term for it, and there is a term for it, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically foreshadowing, right? They're letting you know what they're gonna do before they do it, all right? They have that, hubris, all right? The wicked, let's go and get that scripture. This is really what it is. Psalms 10 and 31, or 3, excuse me. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. Okay? And a matter of fact, we have Psalms 10 and 1, so let's just read the whole thing, and we can, check that off. So Psalms 10 and 1 through 2. And then what I want to get this in is I specifically wrote myself a note to also get this in the NSRV. So let me go ahead and switch over because I don't really care for the KJV online anyway. Right? So 1 down through 3. And it says, the beginning is really a plea to the Lord, all right? It says, Psalms 10 and verse 1. Let me open this up before I forget. Starting with the left here, with King James Version, then we'll jump over. It says, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Basically saying, we'll continue. Verse 2, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yahweh, or the Lord. The Lord is not in all his thoughts. Okay? His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. We'll go through 6. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. We'll continue. Verse 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, Yahweh hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never C. And then, of course, there's another play in 12. It says, arise, O Lord, O Yahweh, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble. Basically, so it's a plea. You can see right here, it says prayer for deliverance from enemies. It's not only is it a prayer from deliverance, it's a plea saying, please, Lord, don't hold back yourself from the situation. Please help us, right? Why are you holding back yourself and hiding yourself in these times of trouble? We need help. Please help us. It's a plea, right? Which is not a wicked thing to do. Some Christians might think it to be wicked, but you got to understand how the Lord works. Sometimes you have to remind him of his promises. Not that he forgot, but you said, Lord, you said you would help me. Please help me. Please, heal me, please. And in this scripture you said this, so please help me. I need help, please. Babu Shah. I know you'll help me sincerely, right? And then, send your prayer up. That's not a wicked thing to do. It's not like you're saying, hey, asshole, you're not doing anything like that, right? You're not doing those things. And that's what the Christian makes, hey, you're based on. No. And first of all, Christians don't know anything, all right? So they're not really fit to give advice, okay? But let's go and break this down bit by bit. So, of course, 10 is pretty, we already pretty much explained that. It's a plea on the Lord, right? And 2, it says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. And really the poor are us, all right, the Israelites. Now, it's not just us that he's persecuting. Really, he's so fucking wicked that he persecutes his own people as well. But he doesn't persecute anybody as much as he persecutes us. The nations go through shit as well, but no nation has gone through what we have gone through, all right? I think it's no nation suffered as Israel. Right here, Daniel 9 and 12, it says, if it'll load, it says, and he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as has been done, or hath been done upon Jerusalem. Of course, Jerusalem is in reference to Israel. So no one's got it like we've gone. Yeah, sure, you're right. Other nations have gone through shit. Everyone's going to go through shit, but they haven't gone through shit as we've gone through it, right? And Esau is a wicked ruler, so of course even the Edomites have gone through shit, right? Because of the Edomites' rule. The Edomites, they persecute us first and foremost, all right, because we're the poor. And no, again, like the scripture said, no one's gone through anything like we've gone through, and been persecuted like we've been persecuted, and killed like we've been killed, and robbed like we've been robbed. Doesn't say that verbatim, but that's what it's talking about. We've gone through those things. And of course, Esau is so greedy that, they rob their own people, they rob Israel, they rob the other nations, they rob it. They're a horrible ruler. They can't rule for shit, right? They're not fit for rulership. Okay, they're horrible fucking rulers. That's why their kingdom is falling. All right, Mystery Babylon, your queendom has fallen to the ground, and Ahab from Ethiopia's calling, right? Give me back my gold, my rubies and diamonds. If you don't know that song, it's by I believe it's that one's not by Peter Tosh. Is it Gregory Isaac? Let me see. Mystery Babylon. It is. It is by Peter Tosh. Okay, and you can go and look up the lyrics. Mystery Babylon, your queendom is fallen to the ground, and Rahab from Ethiopia is calling. I hear it calling, Mr. Babylon. Right, Mr. Babylon. It says, give me back my gold, my ruby, my diamond. All right, and then you see they fuck it up. But this shows out of the the house of Benjamin, man. There's a scripture. I remember the Apostle Bar, or him being a Benjamite himself. Is one. There's a scripture about it that I can't remember. A voice of bunch. I can't remember. If a brother knows it, please post it, because I'm looking for that scripture and I can't remember how it went. But basically, it was a prophecy that that Benjamin, that a voice would basically it was in their music. Of course, they're close, but not quite so close, but no cigar, as they say in the world. They go by that name Jah, all right, or which is really the modern version is Yah. All right, you can see here, send my sons and daughters back home. It says all those who are called by Jah name. It's not Jah, all right. It's not Yah. It's Yahweh, all right. And you can't call him by himself. You have to have the son Yahweh Bahashim in the name of Yahweh Shai, right? But according to IUIC, we don't need the name. So I guess we can just forget that, right? Don't need none of that, right? You don't need the names. It's not like there's a bunch of scriptures that mention, knowing the names, the name of the Lord being a strong tower, and all those upon his call upon his name are saved. No, it's not like Moses specifically asked for the name to go and give to the Israelites, when after deliverance and being brought up, or no, not after, but going to tell them who their Lord is. It's not like that was any scriptures. Oh wait, they were. All right, and Bishop Nathaniel's a false fucking prophet, man. He's a false prophet that doesn't really know anything. He used to, all right, and I sincerely hope he comes out of that. But at the same time, you can call me you can call me a negative Nancy, or you can call me a realist. I don't think he's coming out of that one, man. I don't think he's coming out of that one. He might, but I think the ultimate downfall of Bishop Nathaniel is going to be his pride. All right, because he doesn't have he has a issue with pride. He has an Edomite-like spirit when it comes to pride, where he doesn't want to admit that he was wrong and that GMS was right. He doesn't want to admit that, and that's ultimately, I think, personally, that's just my thought. You can throw it the fuck out the window because my thoughts don't mean shit. But I think that that's personally going to be his downfall. All right, there's some people in this truth that think that he's going to wake up out of it, right? There's other people that believe that he's not, right? It's not a commandment, it's not a scripture, so everyone's going to have a different opinion on it. But, it just depends. Some people are more hopeful about it. Some people are more like, I don't know, right? So I don't know. Sincerely, I really don't know. It could go either way, right, with Bishop Nathaniel. He could be like, oh, shit, I am really that wrong. Let me, look, it's the Lord at the end of the day. The Lord could have put any spirit on a man, right? But as I see him now, I think his pride is constantly getting in the way of right judgment and of right teaching. It's constantly, it's the doctrine according to Bishop Nathaniel, not the doctrine according to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? And they try to push that off on GMS and say, oh, they teach whatever they want to teach. No, they teach it in the Bible. You just have an issue with the Bible, all right? You have an issue with the age limits in the Bible. You have an issue with being able to understand the Bible because, your wicks, I don't want to say it's fully out, but it's teetering on a fucking end, man, all right? And it's one of those situations, if you don't get fixed and right soon, it will just completely blow out. Because there's some things that he says is right. Some things, but a lot of things that he says is wrong. All right? ISUPK has more things that are correct than IUIC, right? But IUIC has the biggest platform. And that's the issue, man. They have the biggest platform and the biggest platform for a false doctrine to go out and lead people astray. So, yeah, man, all these people, their blood's really on your hands, So that's something, you don't want that. Right, but again, as long as it's bringing in money and it's filling his pockets up, and people say, oh, it's not that. It is that. That's why everything's always a fucking donation, a storefront. Okay, GMS has a website, all right, and they don't have a fucking storefront on there, right? They don't have a storefront. Anyway, let me grab this drink. Matter of fact, the only thing that GMS has on the website that's at least publicly available is just camp signs, right? Now, there's a login portal, but again, I just teach the same as them, I'm not in GMS, so I don't have access to that. I don't even know if regular brothers have access to that. They might. I don't know if that's just an apostle thing. I don't know how it goes, but there's probably more stuff behind it. But at the end of the day, if you just go on the site, you're not going to see any, click here to buy, lotions and beard butters and balms and creams and and the thing is, and sell it not. Right? This is Proverbs 23 and 23. It says, buy the truth and sell it not. Also, wisdom and instruction and understanding. So you're not supposed to sell it. You're not supposed to sell this truth. You're not supposed to monetize. That's the same reason we don't have our videos monetized. Okay? GMS and those that are teaching like GMS. We don't have our videos monetized. Okay, now if I go to IUIC.com, okay, and I go here, and I go and wait for the website to load because it takes forever to fucking load because they have the website all loaded up with fucking videos and clips and all this theatric shit. If it'll even load. It might not even load. It's not loading in any browser. Oh, here it is. All right. And it says, look, demand for retraction and warning against defamation. Okay, well, defamation, mind you, cannot be used unless you're saying things that are not true. That's not defamation. Defamation is only if something is not true. Okay, like when you guys say that, oh, GMS and all this, they keep the grape doctrine and all that stuff, and your little lackeys like to say that they touch little girls and stuff like that. That's defamation. All right, saying you guys are a bunch of false prophets, that's not defamation. Saying that you guys care more about money is not defamation, because it's proof. I've already proved it that you guys have a 501c3 and you have a shop. You can go right to the shop. All right, look at this fucking shit. Right, artesian leather, original royalty. Right, come on, man. That's ridiculous. Royal amethyst. Royal amethyst. Look at this shit, man. Look at this. Royal Heritage. What is that? DOS edition? DOS? Oh, 3. Lavender Noir, Turquoise, Mesa, and Rose Smoke. Got the fringes with the border blue on it. Come on, man. And this shit's probably made in China. Let's be honest now. It might not be, but look at this, man. This is ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. Right? And that stuff all looks like AI, man. All that looks like AI. I know she had to do all the graffiti with it. Oh, and in case you wanted to continue with the ad in the hood culture into this ministry, well, let's go and get something real quick. I already typed in KJV, but this is Job 14:4, and I haven't even got to the lesson yet because anytime I bring up IUIC, it just pisses me off. But anyway, Job 14:4, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Not you. Not one. And especially not you, Bishop Nathaniel. You're trying to mix in hood culture with the truth. All right, you can't bring a clean thing out of an unclean. It's some unclean shit. All right, you have to have the graffiti and stuff. If you like graffiti, that's fine. All right, I draw, I have things where I've drawn graffiti and stuff because, of course, I'm not going to go and do graffiti in this truth. But back in the day, I used to actually do graffiti on walls and shit. But I like, the art style. I don't do it hardly much anymore because I don't really draw like that. I'll do graphic design and stuff now, but I don't really do a whole lot of drawing. But I'm not going to try to go and do graffiti type shit, anyway, And of course, you got to have the rap music. Switch up Sultry Neme, whatever that Sultry Neme, however it is. I wonder if you can even listen to it. Well, I'm not going to play their music because what they'll probably try to do is copyright strike. And mind you, it's a debut MP3 single. They're selling an MP3 for after tax for $2.17. I can go out and go to Apple Music, buy Apple or iTunes, buy music. But anyway, let's see. Digital music. Let's see. Let's just go, let's see new releases. Okay, Olivia Rodrigo, right? She's pretty popular. Well, first of all, a whole album is $9.49. Okay? You're charging $2 for one song. That's fucking robbery. Let's see stupid song. $1.29. $1.29 for a Olivia Rodrigo song. Okay, very popular. Meanwhile, you want a $2 plus 18 cents in tax, $2.17 for one track, man. For one track, Olivia Rodrigo isn't even charging that. It's just robbery, man. It shows you there's nothing coming out the IUIC. Right? They're not a prophecy camp. Okay, they're not. All right, but anyway, going back into all that stuff. Oh, what I really meant to go over there and show you. That little maneuver is going to set us back 1,000 years. Go to the shop, and you can go into film, box set DVD, single episode DVDs, right? Look, The Truth Shall Make You Free season. Look, Ishmael, the Arab world, box set. Look, revealing the seals with Bishop Nathaniel, right? $100. $100. Do you want the 12 tribes breakdown? Well, you're gonna get it for $75 fucking dollars, man. You want it in French? $60. Okay? You know, it's fucking ridiculous, man. And you're not supposed to be buying and selling. You know, you're supposed to buy and sell it, not. Okay? You get it, receive it, but you don't sell it. Okay? So it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And these guys, you know, again, they don't have any semblance of understanding over there. I mean, they do, some of them, but it's all clouded with, you know, all that bullshit, right? But anyway, back in Psalms 10, it says, we're going to go on to verse 3. It says, the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. So that's the thing with Esau, going back into it. Esau has to let you know what he does or what he's going to do before he does it. Why? Because he likes to boast of what he desires. And he desires to have you chipped. He desires to have this. He desires that. So what is he going to do? He's going to hide it in the media, right? He's going to put it into songs. He's going to put it into video games. He's going to put it into, like, Fallout. He's going to put it into movies, right? That's what he does. Because why? For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. Now, again, we just talked about it. The wicked is Esau, Edom. They're the border of wickedness, right? It says, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. So really, they're the complete opposite of what the Lord likes. All right, they're really us upside down. All right, they're really us upside down. For example, we want complete righteousness. They want complete wickedness. All right, we want to be on top. They want to be on top. We want to be on top and them on the bottom. They want to be on top with us on the bottom. Right? We want to make sure people aren't getting senselessly killed. They want to senselessly kill. Right? So on and so forth. Right? We want to, you know, heal the world. They want to destroy the world. Okay? It's just, you know, we want to be with the Lord. They want to be against the Lord. So they're really like the fucking evil clone version of us. Okay? Everything that we're for, they're against those exact things. Okay? And everything that they're for, we're against those exact things. Okay? So it says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. He's not thinking about the Lord. He's not thinking about repercussion. He's not thinking what the Lord's going to do to him. Right? I mean, it's in his hubris, he really thinks he's going to fight against the Lord and win. Right? We read that just yesterday about, you know, they're going to try to fight him that sat on the horse. Him that sat on the horse is Yahushua, and the horse is that fathership, right? That the big UFO. It says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Right? So they're all the ways, all the things that they do are always bad. They're always doing bad shit. They're never doing anything good. They're never helping people out. They're always hurting, harming, maiming, killing. Right? It said in verse 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, I shall never be in adversity. Now, adversity is suffering. They said, I'm not going to be moved. No one's going to ever do anything to me. I'm not going to be in adversity. And we see that with this whole World War III shit, right? With them saying, oh, well, we're gonna fight off, and we're gonna be fine. We're an island. We're heavily protected. We got, you know, the Star Wars system that's going to protect against, and all those things. And the Star Wars system was never enacted, right? That was an alleged thing that was going to be made. It was never made. Right? So Esau is holding on to things that they think are the case when they're not the case, man. Right? They're thinking, oh, well, you know, we have these different guns. Meanwhile, you know, for example, when with Vietnam, a lot of people, oh, we're gonna go over there and kick ass. Their fucking guns didn't even work, man. One of the first things in Vietnam that was told to soldiers that were arriving was, and bear with me, let me reply to the wife. 1 minute. Like she's out grabbing food, so gotta, you know, get the food. But you know, one of the things that was told in Vietnam was when soldiers would arrive up, and you know, they'd say, what's the first thing to do when you kill someone? Go and kill a gook, as they would say. Just quoting what they would say, freedom of speech. All right, it's historical. They'd say, when you kill a gook, take their gun, take their weapon. Right, take their weapon. Because they had better weapons. Because at the time, you had the M16, and then, of course, a brief revision was the M16A1 with some slight changes. And the M16 and the M16A1 were horrible for jungle warfare, right? They're absolutely horrible for jungle warfare. They got clogged, they got jammed, all right? They weren't good in water, all right? They're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. And don't, look, why was the M16 horrible for jungle warfare. Look, first thing right there, ask historians, how did the M16 gain its bad reputation for being an unreliable weapon during the Vietnam War? Look, the early M16 failed in Vietnam due to unlined steel chambers that pitted easily in jungle humidity, incorrect gunpowder that caused severe jamming, and a false self-cleaning designation that resulted in a lack of cleaning kits. These failures left many soldiers unable to fire when ambushed. They wouldn't even fucking be able to fire the goddamn gun. Right? They had to go through all these different things. Unlined chambers, incorrect ammunition, self-cleaning myth, lack of a forward assist, fragile magazines. The aluminum 20-round magazines had weak springs and fed lips that easily bent. Soldiers learned to load only 17 or 18 rounds to prevent jamming. Vegetation deflection. The lightweight, high-velocity 5.56 bullet was designed for open terrain. In dense, tangled Vietnamese jungle, it was easily deflected by leaves, vines, and it was a piece of shit. Right, these upgrades became standard on the M16A1, vastly improving reliability. And I mentioned that. They made some modifications, right? But even the M16A1, I mean, it was decent, but these motherfuckers over there they already had better weapons, right? They had the AK-47, which is like still like the gun of all time for like reliability. They've frozen those motherfuckers, put them through the dirt, put them in rain, rusted them out, and they still worked, right? You want to know why? Because the original rifle's name is the Kalashnikov. All right, it's a Russian, or it might not be Russian. It might have been Ukrainian. AK-47. It's the Avtomat Kalashnikova. All right, is it Soviet Union? Okay, so Soviet Union by a Russian small arms designer, Mikhail Kalashnikov. All right, there you go. And so his name was Kalashnikov, but I guess it was Avtomat Kalashnikova, right, is his full name. Avtomat Kalashnikova, right? I believe that's the correct pronunciation. And it was by Mikhail Kalashnikov, all right? And that's his name. And again, leave it to the Russians. They're the smart, Gog is the smarter Edomites, right? They're still Edomites. Like, and then you have the tiny tops, all right, the Amalekites, all right, Amalek. They're, better with money, all right, and building themselves empires. And then you have Gomer, all right, the Germans, who are even better than the fucking, than Gog with the technological inventions. I mean, the tanks, the fucking chemical warfare, all weapons, all right. They're crazy with it, man. They're crazy with it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Wanted to nerd out a little bit about Vietnam because that's one of the few wars that I know a lot about. A lot is subjective. There's people that know more than me, but that's one of my areas that I know a little bit more than just like a random person would know, but that's just because I got really interested in it a long time ago. There's a lot of weird shit that happened in Vietnam. Vietnam was the first modern war, if you really want to get down to it. It's the first war fought with, the first big war fought with modern equipment with, night vision goggles and all these different types of shit. And it shows you that, Esau still fails horribly even with the technology, man. So, but anyway, continuing back into Psalms 10, it said, they're proud. They know, I'm not going to be moved. I shall never be in adversity. They'll march themselves into war with Iran, thinking they're going to win against Iran and Russia and all. We're going to win against all of them. You can't, right? And they'll eventually figure it out when World War III happens and they get fucking blown to fucking smithereens. But they're still, we could have been, look, they're even going to be proud in the kingdom, man. Okay, they're gonna be proud when they're in the kingdom because it's not gonna be able to be. It's like the heathens will eventually get right to an extent. We'll have to moderate them, but Esau is always gonna be proud. It's just in him. He literally cannot help it. Okay, it's like a dog barking. They just can't help it. They're just gonna do it, right? They're just gonna do it. And Esau is just proud like that. It doesn't matter if you beat him out of it. You can't. It's gonna be in there. Right? Even when we're on top in the kingdom, they're still going to be being proud. They're still going to think they're better. And that's why they have 1,000 years. All right. And at some point in that 1,000 years, they might get maybe a little bit better, but not by much. They'll probably not, and I mean not like better. They'll probably just learn to shut their fucking mouth more. Right? But they'll never really truly change in the heart. Right? And that's why after 1,000 years, they're going to be completely fucking kaput. Right? Vanished. Right? And as the apostles say, it's kind of what's going to happen to them, all right, because the Lord made those souls is up for really question. The common thought is that, those souls are going to be recycled into other nations, all right, and not as Edomites, and they'll be, basically better. All right, that's the common thought. All right, but let's get verse 7. It says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit, and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Now, if we jump over to the NSRV, which is over here on the right, in verse 7, it says, their mouths are filled with cursing and deceit and oppression. All right, they're an oppressive people, right? It says, and then let's continue in verse 7 on the KJV. It says, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And back in the NSRV, it says, under their tongues are mischief and iniquity. All right, and uselessness and mischief. And mischief, another word for mischief is really, and Esau's dumbed it down. Thank you. Esau's dumbed it down and made it to where, it's just, use a little hand buzzer or a fake piece of shit on the floor, or, it's just one of those things. That's a little bit mischievous, or pulling a prank or something. No. Mischievous, the old version of mischievous, was something exceedingly evil. Wickedness. It meant wickedness. Mischief just meant wickedness, evil. Right? Or as Mermaid Man from SpongeBob would say, evil. Right? Or also Elder Hawad, right? He says that a lot too. Love that brother. All right, love that elder. Excuse me. And it's just one of those things where Esau's he's just that guy, man, and you can't change that from him. All right, you can't beat it out of him. It's just in him. Okay, and that's again, and you got to realize that like the elite of Esau is really Amalek. All right, they're the brains of the operation. All right, and regular Edomites are in allegiance to them, in league with them. Allegiance to, I guess, but in league with them. They're in league with them. What does it mean to be in league with someone? What does it mean to be in league with someone? Okay, to be in league with someone, I already knew it was going to start to be. To be in league with someone means to be working in collaboration together, often in secret, to achieve a specific goal. Often in secret, right? Often in secret. There you go. There's an old band. I don't listen to them because they're just a bunch of Satanists. They really just worshiping themselves. An old satanic band called Venom. Right? You can go and look up Venom band. They use a Baphomet as their logo. All right? As one of their primary logos. This is their thing. Welcome to Hell was their first album. And they have a song, and it goes, evil in league with Satan. Right? And they're just not even a good band at all. I didn't like them even back in the day when I listened to satanic shit. When I listened to satanic shit, the bands I liked were like Deicide and Morbid Angel, Merciful Fate, right? Bands like that, all right, because their music was actually decent, but these guys fucking suck, all right? They've never been good. The only good thing that came from them is that they basically, this album that they made was titled Black Metal, Black Metal came out, and Black Metal mostly was a satanic genre, but you had bands like Immortal, which I'm a fan of. And again, heavy metal, most people are going to listen to it and say, oh, that's some demonic sound shit. And it sounds demonic, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's really not demonic. They're really not. They're mostly talking about, a lot of black, the first wave black metal is satanic, but after that, some of it was pagan. Some of it was really just talking about darkness and evil in the world and stuff like that. Same with death metal, right? People are like, oh, it's talking about killing people. Sometimes it is, but usually it's coming from a mind of a killer or talking about evil in the world. But that's just one of the things. And from outside looking in, people hear the growl, and they're like, oh shit, that shit sounds evil. But once you actually listen to the lyric, and there were certain bands that talked more so about like, it's like what I like to explain to people, because they're like, oh, it sounds evil, it looks evil. And there's like, on the covers, they're like, killing people. If you go look up the band Cannibal Corpse, their covers are fucking crazy like that. I don't want to show some of them, but they're fucking crazy. But so is like horror movies. Okay, horror movies are pretty much crazy as well. This is their best album, by the way, Eaten Back to Life, and they have a song called "Put Them to Death." And people are like, oh, they're evil. And some of the songs, it's mostly about death metal. It's about people dying and stuff. It's the same thing with horror movies. But if you look at "Put Them to Death," which is my favorite song off that album. Look at the lyrics. Evil people with evil minds slaughter victims with ripping knives. They should be caught and put to death, strapped to the chair. They should die there. Evil people with evil minds slaughter victims with ripping knives. They should be caught and put to death, strapped to a chair. They should be put there. Blood spewing from their eyes as you hear their sinful cries. Destroy their evil minds. We should take their fucking lives. They should be caught and punished for what they have done. And then this part's a little crazy. Torture them slowly. It would be fun. Kill them off one by one. Let them go. No, torture them slow. Right? Fuck you and your kind. We don't need you or your lives. Execute by injection, execution by electrocution. Fuck you and your kind. And you know, again, it's, you know, they're like, oh, it's evil. It's not really evil. They're talking about fucking putting serial killers to death. They just went a little bit overboard later and just went off the serial killer image and played a story from the inside of a serial killer's mind, chopping them, hacking them up, and doing shit like that. There's another song. I think it's Shredded Humans. I think that song's about, you know, some guy that was driving an accident and slammed into a family, and there's blood and gore all over the road and shit. And it's just, you know, it's morbid, but it's just like a horror movie, right? Horror movie with people getting chopped up and hacked up and shit. And I'll tell you, there's more spirits on rap music than there is death metal. Even though death metal, they have the vocals like more spirits on fucking rap music. And I know because I can feel it, man. I can feel it. I can listen to death metal and be chill and fine. I'll listen to rap music and I can feel my spirit getting like I don't know, adrenaline or something like that. And I don't know what it is. In those fucking, you know, Jake ain't out there and listening to the hood, listening to death metal and fucking wilding out. Right? They're not listening to heavy metal and wilding out. They're not listening to jazz music and wilding out. That rap music fucking gets in their head and fucking gets them acting crazy. Right? It gets them fucking acting all messed up in the goddamn head. And that's why I'll listen to it occasionally. But you would think listen to a song like a rap music song compared to something that's talking about chopping humans up and stuff. The chopping humans up, that's gonna, you know, have more demons on it. And no, I feel fine, and I can, you know, go about, you know, mess around on the computer. I put rap music on, and all of a sudden, you know, I start having ninja tree thoughts, and I'm like, I gotta turn this fucking shit off, man. All right. Well, I'm gonna hit my lick on that motherfucker. I'm gonna roll up on him with a blick, hit him with a stick. I'm like, what the? And the difference is when death metal's talking about that, they aren't doing that shit, right? When King Von's singing that shit, he was doing that shit. Right, I hit him in the thigh, then I hit him in the arm. You know, this guy was talking about this. You know, took him to the basement, I chopped him up. Like, they didn't really do that though. But King Von did. So there's some demonic fucking energy on that rap music on at least on most of it. Even some of the 80s music, man, it makes you want to act a fool. But anyway, to each their own. Someone's gonna be more affected by something than someone else will, right? So to each their own. Use your own discernment, right? There's no scripture that says thou shalt not listen to any of this type of music, right? But again, you got to be, there is scripture that says being circumspect. If you have a music that you're listening to and it's bringing demons on you, it's having you fucking act crazy, then maybe don't listen to that music, whether it even be jazz. If Marvin Gaye makes you want to act up, maybe don't listen to it. You know, just be circumspect with it, man. But going back to Esau does that shit. They put a fucking you know, secret tones and binaural sounds and energies and frequencies in the music to make you act a certain type of way, man. And that's just, again goes back to his ways are always grievous, all right? All the shit he's doing, he's always fucking around with some evil shit, man. It says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. He's always lying, deceiving. I mean, let's go and get, let's highlight this. And let's go and look up deceive. Okay, deceive means to intentionally cause someone to believe something that is true. Oh, so like it. To intentionally cause someone to believe something that is true when it is not. I don't like that definition. Usually, to intentionally cause someone to believe a lie. That's a better definition. I mean, it's the same thing here, but I don't like the way they worded it, right? Deceive means to intentionally cause someone to believe something that is not true. Make it easier. It's fucking over-explanatory here. That's it. All right, synonyms would be to mislead someone, to trick someone, to delude someone, to hoodwink someone, to fool someone. Okay, ranges from actively lying or presenting false evidence to omitting key information. That Esau does all those things. He lies. I didn't do those things. Presents false evidence. Well, no. See, we were there. There were no Moors. There were no black people in Europe. False evidence. To omitting key information. Well, there were certain, black people that might have been over there. Yeah, but what are you talking about? What about the key information about those slave logs when it talked about Igbos? All right, when it talked about Hebrew slaves. 3 male Hebrew black slaves. All right, what about that? All right, there was a book that the Nation of Islam put out. Bear with me. I know it sounds crazy to mention them, but bear with me. Let me grab this drink of water. And the Nation of Islam put out this book of slave documents, and they say it's fake. There's a book, and I can't remember what it's called. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. It was released in 1991. Okay. I don't know if this is the one specifically. It might have been that one. Let me see. And again, you know, the Nation of Islam, they have some things that they get right. Some. Okay? Like, they know about, you know, the small hatters playing a role in it. They know some, I guess there's different sects of Nation of Islam, but some, at least the guy I was talking to, knows that the so-called, you know, Negroes, at least, I don't know if they, what they do with the native, so-called Latinos and Native Americans, but at least the so-called Negroes are actually Israelites, but they go in with the African shit too, and they kind of go wacko with it. Okay, like a broken clock is right twice a day. Or once, depending on if it's a digital or analog clock, as I always like to say. But there was a book, I don't know if this was it, but it was put out by the Nation of Islam, and it had a bunch of slave documents in it. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. Let me go and see if I can find a PDF of this. There was one, and the whole thing was just slave documents. Right, from, you know, all these different ships. I'm trying to see if I can find it. This ain't it. I'm trying to see if I can find it. This looks like it, but are they actually going to give it to me? Look, man. That's not it. That's a different one. Try that one. Try that one. Try that one. If I can find one. These usually work. Scrib and then... Okay. This might work. Okay. American Cultural Library by Nation of Islam. Okay, let me go see. Look at how it opens up. Through the history of the practice... tiny tops have been involved with the purchase and sale of human beings. This is a fact confirmed by their own scholars and historians. In this book, A History of the Tiny Top, Solomon Grazel states that the tiny tops were among the most important slave dealers in European society. Lady Magnus writes that in the Middle Ages, the principal purchasers of slaves were found among the tiny tops. They seemed to be always and everywhere at hand to buy and to have the means equally ready to pay, again, because they're smart with the money, right? It says, in 1460, when tiny tops were the masters of the nautical science in Portugal, the nation was importing 700 to 800 slaves early. And again, like, the Nation of Islam is on it with some things like this, but it's with their doctrine. When you go into a historical account, yeah, they're going to be right when you go into history, but when they try to go into theology and try to say with all these different things about, they're just wrong with it, right? They don't have it. But, like I always like to say, you know, really, you're not a good person unless you're in this truth, as apostles say. But some of those guys, you know, decent people to talk to, but they're Deep Space Nine, man. They're crazy with it, right? They have the sacred geometry, the sacred letters, and the Omega alphabet. What all? It's just, you know, whatever it's called. But they're a little crazy with it. But some of the things they have, like historical accounts, you know, they did put out some good things that were historical accounts like this. And this isn't the book, but I mean, it might be worth a read. There's probably some NOI stuff in it, but there might be some stuff. There might be some stuff that, you know, could be interesting in there. But what I'm not looking for that either. What I'm looking for specifically, it was this big book. It's not that. There was another one. Let me see. It's not that. It was another one. It was all logs of slave ships and their prisoners / slaves. I can't remember the name of the book is, but I believe it was NOI as well, Nation of Islam. It's not that. No. It talked about black Jews being sold as slaves, Igbos, ECT. I don't think it was Ronald. No, it wasn't that either. Nope. It was older. Was it Hebrews, Negroes? I don't think it was that either. I know there was a bunch of controversy behind this book not too long ago, but no, it wasn't this one either. I'm telling you, the whole thing. They're not going to want to tell you what it was. If anybody knows what it was, again, you can put it down below. Hell, even, you know, women aren't really supposed to talk like that. But if you, for some reason, you know the name of the book, you can put it down. I'll allow that. Let's put the name of the book down. Well, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was a book, slave document, black Hebrews. And you can't hardly find it, man. I remember years ago, man. And I wish I would have saved it. There was an actual log. Black Hebrew, or like black Jew slave ship document. Slave ship log document. Let me see if I can find one picture. Is this the one? It looked like this. It was a manifest. And it looked like this, and it said like Jew, Negro, something like that. And I have yet to be able to find it for fucking years. I'm trying to find it, man. I know some brother out there's got it. I know some brother has it. This one's close. Let me see. It was kind of like that. I wish I could find it. But there was one document that looked like this, kind of. But it specifically said like Igbo or Hebrew Negroes, Negro Jews, something like that. Something like that. And it was, I haven't seen it for a while. But it was something like this. It was something like this. But of course Esau likes to, well, again, deceive, all right? Presenting false evidence to also omitting key information, and that would fall under omitting key information, all right? And that's what they do. They omit key information. I wish I could have found it, right? And again, I look every once in a while, and I waste a bunch of time trying to see if I'll ever find it again, and I never do, right? Maybe one day, Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, I'll stumble across it again. But it was a manifest. Okay, it was a manifest. Slave ship manifest. Black, Jew, Hebrew, Igbo. Let me see if I can find it by doing that. No. Nope. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste more time, but man, I wish I could find it. I really do. This one keeps showing up. Can't really read that one. But Jack, Hector, Adam, Maria, Mary. Is that Delia? Ooh, is that a U? Yulia? Uellia? Yulia? Or no, because it's male. They have male, female, and then they have DO. What is that? 2020, 2020, 20. What is that? That looks like Hebrew. Planes. I don't see anything. What does it say? Examined and found to agree. Can't read that too much. Looks like not William. I thought it was William. William, September 24th, 1832. I don't know, man. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll find it. It would be great. But either way, and then also if you look, you can go, is it true? Is it true that most slave manifests and ship logs are missing or destroyed? Again, remember, omitting key information. No, it is not true that most are missing. It says, while many documents or records were lost to fire, incredible wealth of documentation, 80-90% of all transatlantic slave trades still survive. Sure. Because years ago it said there was. I don't remember if anybody remembers that. That was actually a statistic. They'd say, 90% were like gone. Most were destroyed. All right, and all the ships were destroyed, and a lot of logs were destroyed. But apparently now most survived, but only a few got burned up in a fire. There it is, verse 7, Psalms 10 and 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. Behind closed doors and behind secret villages and secret islands and cabins. That's what they do, right? They got caught doing that with the whole Little St. James, right? With Epstein and his island. It says, his eyes are privately set against the poor. It says, he lieth in wait as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He jumps out of his den and grabs your ass. It says, he doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humble himself, and I like always to say, he maintains the appearance of humbling himself, but he never really humbles himself. He's a proud man, he can't be humbled. If you go into verse 10, it says, they stoop, they crouch, and the helpless fall by their might, all right? It says that the poor may fall by a strong ones, back in the KJV. But in 10, the NSRV, it says, they stoop, they crouch, and the helpless fall by their might, okay? He has said in his heart, Yahweh hath forgotten, he hideth his face. He will never see it. Right over here in the NSRV, it says, they think in their heart, Yahweh has forgotten. He has hidden his face. He will never see it. And then, of course, it goes back to the plea, man. So, yeah, this is Esau. This is what they do. They boast of their heart's desire. They tell you what they're going to do before they do what they end up doing, right? And it's because, let's go and get that, is a proud man. All right, Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's exactly what he does. Now, I want to go and look up how long we've been going on for. About an hour, so I'll probably close this out soon. And again, I still haven't got to this through most of the sticky notes. So again, the Lord's just having us go other places and other scriptures. But what are the signs of someone who is a narcissist? I spelled that wrong. But that's the modern version of pride, all right? Calling someone pride, they're a narcissist, right? It says an excessive need for admiration. All right, that's, you see that when you say that black women are better than white women. They'll say, what, you think black women are prettier than white women? Yes. Black women are way prettier than your women. Yes. Well, no, they're the best. We're the best. We're the best looking. You know, they need that admiration. All right, and the other thing is their narcissism flows through their women as well. Well, if you tell them that their women aren't as good looking as Jake, they don't have nice titties as Jake, if they don't have nice ass as Jake, all right, Slacky, you know. But you know, that's how it is. Then they get upset. Right? They say that, oh, Jake has better, that hair, that rat nest of a hair, you think that's better? No, yeah, I think it's better than your fucking, you know, spaghetti string ass hair that falls out and gets everywhere like a fucking dog. Right? I think it's a lot better. It's healthier hair. It's stronger hair. All right, it holds in moisture better. It's better in every fucking way, shape, and form than some fucking dog-like hair that gets everywhere, man. Any of you that have any men that's ever dated a white woman, that shit's fucking annoying, man. It gets everywhere. It's in your mouth. You know, it gets fucking, you know, wrapped around your nut. Shit. Right? You're finding pieces in your leg and your socks. All right? Like, fuck, man. It's like you had a cat or something. Right? It's animal-like hair. It says a fundamental lack of empathy. They don't care about anybody else. About, you know, they just care about me, right? Like in that Ugly Betty episode with that guy she was dating, where he was a narcissist, and she just imagined him singing that song, me, 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 me. Right? It's all about me. Me. That's narcissism. Traits frequently display entitlement. Well, you know, that's Karenism right there. You're supposed to help me. You're supposed to help me. That's narcissism. Shift the blame to the others. Well, you know, the black, you were selling each other, you know, so we bought them, but it was you blacks that were selling. That was the Hamites. Okay? The Hamites that were selling Israelites. Okay? But you can't just shift the blame. You were buying them. Right? You were buying them. Right, you talk about drug deals being bad, but you all these fucking drug addicts to get off the street. Well, which one's worse? The person selling the drugs or the person buying the drugs? Aren't they both bad? Right? So why are you going to shift the blame? It says, and use manipulative tactics like gaslighting to control their environment. And that's what they do. They try to control the environment. Bear with me. They try to control the environment. All right, and say, no, you're going off topic. You're going off topic. That's not what we're talking about today. You know, you're going off topic. And that's them trying to control the environment. You're like, no, because we have to go off topic. We have to get in the Bible. We'll just use it without the Bible. Okay, we'll get in the history. If you go back out, well, if we stop doing that, what the fuck do you want, man? You just want to be right. All right, anytime we try to get the history, you don't like it. Anytime we try to get the Bible, you don't like it. So you just don't want you just don't like the information. Right? And that's because you're trying to control the environment, and when you give Esau a lack of control, they completely fucking wit out, man. All right? Is wit out a word? Or wig out. Wit out. Maybe it's, you know, not wit out, but wig out. What does it mean to wig out? All right, to lose emotional control, become wildly excited, panic, or act irrationally, go crazy, lose mind. They wig out, man. Start fucking wigging out. And they just, you know, like a fucking blacks. You fucking blacks, you fucking Hispanics. You fucking spear chucking ass fucking Native American. You know, that's what they do. They resort to ad hominem attacks. They lose their mind. All right, because again, that goes back to Habakkuk 2 and 5, and I think that's where we're going to actually close out. For this one, boom. Yeah, and then, you know, because this will be probably 3 or 4. We'll see. I don't know. I thought we were going to finish up and get into it today, but I guess not. But that's, you know, it's all through spirit and power of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai. We went somewhere else with it today. But that's Esau, man. He's you know, when you, again, trying to talk about the New World Order, trying to cycle it back into, you know, the stepping stones of the New World Order. Esau, you know, he lies, or he's deceptive. He, you know, does this and that and tries to basically do anything that he can to detract. No, that's not happening. Or you know, deception. Just, oh, that's a conspiracy. You know, that's this and that. Or no, you're going off topic. You're going to this. You know, because again, that's that pride. That's that narcissism of them trying to control the environment. And when they can't control the environment, they wig out. All right. And and you got to be careful not to get Esau to that, unless it's, you know, dealing with the truth. Because out in the world, if they wig out like that, usually what they try to do is they try to pull a gun on you. Okay, you see it with the cops. You know how fast you were going? I was going 50. No, you don't. No, you're going 90. I wasn't going 90. Yes, you were. No, I wasn't, man. I just saw it on my radar when you also pulled out in front of me back there. Where? Well, back on the 95. I wasn't on the 95. I just pulled out the gas station. So now you're lying to me. I'm not lying, man. You know, but again, because of their pride, they will kill you. That's why the scriptures say, let's go and get it. Agree with thine adversary quickly. There's Matthew 5:25. It says, agree with thine adversary quickly. This is the words of Yahushua. Whilst thou art in the way with him, when you're around him, right? Lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. And even more so with this day and age, they're the judge, jury, and executioner, so they might just blow you down right then and there, man. And that's the thing, and you were going 50, you weren't going 80, and you weren't on the 95. You were just pulling out there. And then, but at the end of the day, they're just gonna gun you down, man. All right, I saw this video just the other day with this cop lying on this skateboarder kid, right? Let me go see if I can find it. Skateboarder cop lies. Vegas. Here it is. I'll play this and then, we'll read a scripture again and then close out. But this is a lie, right? This shows you Esau lies. They'll even do it to their own people because, again, Esau centurions are a bunch of fucking pricks. All right? These cops out here, they're a bunch of fucking pricks, man. All right? And that's what they are. They're centurions. They're just Roman centurions. All right? They're agitators because they want you to do something so they can just take you to jail. All right? And even if you don't do anything, they'll take you to jail. But that's the situation. They're liars, man. They're liars. Okay? They're just liars. And this should show you what Esau is. He's proud. All right? And they're like, no, you did, bud. You did. All right? Because, again, they're fucking reacher, man. And these motherfucking cops are a bunch of fucking cunts. Right? And again, no one ever said fuck the fire department. All right? No one's saying fuck the ambulances. No one's saying that. But fuck these fucking police, man. These police are a bunch of fucking dickheads. It's, if you're not doing anything illegal. I don't do anything illegal. But fuck the police. You want to know why? Because half the time, they're not fucking with people that are doing shit that's actually illegal. All right? When someone whips past me in the car and fucking almost fucking slams into the car, they're not pulling them over. Right? When someone is yelling at me in the middle of the store, they're not going over there and saying, hey, you need to calm down. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. But because, one of my headlights just went out, then they'll pull you over, right? Fucking bunch of pricks, man. That's what they are. They want an easy task. They want an easy job. They don't want to they don't want to do the dirty work. All right? They don't want to do none of the dirty work. Anyway, watch this and shows you how fucking much of a liar these are. Should I sue the police? Yeah, you should. You're an Edomite. All right? More than likely. You could be a Jake. But if you're an Edomite, yeah. And look what his shirt says. Faith over fear. That's a message right there by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? And it shows you these motherfuckers. Look, anyway, just watch it.
There's like no one here, right? How you doing? Oh, I'm trying to leave. He's trying to talk. Yeah, how do I leave?
Mind you, he says, how do I leave? He's trying to leave. And if you're in Vegas, yeah, it can be very confusing on how to get the fuck out of a parking lot, how the fuck to get out of a casino, how the fuck to get out of a store. Everything's meant to be like confusing here, so you stay longer. And the security guard told him to leave, and he was leaving. He's skateboarding away, sucking on a lollipop, man. You couldn't have got a more harmless individual, right?
This one? Oh, I was trying to leave out of there. It was all fenced off. Oh, I see. Thank you very much. Yo.
And he's streaming.
What peak timing was that? Yo, he's calling it. Y'all hear him? He's on his mic calling it. Bro, what peak timing is that? W guy? Yeah, I mean, he's just doing his job. Never hate someone kicking you out. You can hate someone being mean about it. This guy was very kind about it. People at the Sphere were so mean, bro.
See, yeah, he was nice. He's like, I'm leaving. All right, I didn't know. All right. Watch. Now watch. Watch the lies. Watch how they pull up, too.
Across this light. I am Chibadiah. Holy shit.
They almost hit him.
Sorry. What'd you say? Cantwell.
What's up, buddy? You got any weapons on you, dude?
No, sir.
You got an ID on you?
No, sir.
Well, you were trespassing back there, man, and then when you saw us, you tried to skedaddle out of there.
Whoa, I never saw you guys.
Yes, you did, bud.
I did not.
I watched you come up to the gate, and I watched you cut through over there to the parking lot.
He said I couldn't be there, and I left right away. I didn't know I couldn't be there.
Nobody told you you couldn't be there, because when we tried to go there, you took off.
I did not take off on anyone.
You did, buddy. It's okay. So here's the thing. Don't lie to my partner about your identity, or you go straight to jail, all right, man?
Yeah, no problem. I'll comply 100%.
All right. What's your first name?
Henry.
What's your last name?
Poston, Poston.
What's your date of birth?
08 27. 2001.
Your social?
Yeah.
What is it?
I got a video on it.
You ever been in trouble before, bud?
Never in my life, no.
You from Vegas or you from
I'm from
somewhere
New
else?
Mexico.
From New Mexico? You
Yes,
have New
sir.
Mexico ID normally?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the most recent address that you had on there?
I got a video on it.
When you were in there, that's a fenced off area, you were trespassing, all right? You were rolling around in there, you were sitting there, you decided to come up to us while you were live streaming. I heard you the whole time.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
But
I was just,
you were illegally in there.
I honestly had no idea.
So, you kind of did, because as soon as you saw our cop car coming over, dude, that's when you decided to leave. You were rolling around there quite a while. So, we
Yeah, no, I
have,
was
we
in
have it
there
all,
for
we have it all on
30
camera too, but like we had a camera watching you the whole time.
Sounds good, yeah.
So that's the thing, dude. All right, you can't be.
We saw him earlier too.
What's that?
No, we saw you earlier, 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That's just part one. It says, this is edited only to remove my social security number and my address. I have the original video saved. I do not have anything against the police or these officers personally. I do. Fuck them. It says, I respect their job and responsibility that comes with it. I don't. There's no fucking honor to the police work. It's, fuck them. And the other thing is people, oh, you'll need them when you're there. When something happens, they're never fucking there. All right. Back in the last job that I was working, I had a guy freaking out in the middle of the fucking lobby, freaking out, threatening to like hurt people and shit. And I called the police, and they didn't show up for over a fucking hour later, to the point where other people in the bit, I didn't say anything, but another guy was like, hey, where were you? Fucking eating donuts? Fucking enjoy your fucking dinner. They fucking called over a fucking hour ago, and you didn't even fucking show up. All right. And these were white guys, and I was like, oh shit, go off. Our older guy too. He was in his 60s or 70s. He's like, no, what the fuck are we even paying you for? You don't even fucking show up. And they go, well, we have other things to do. We have, we declare certain things as higher threats. And he said the guy was fucking threatening to hurt people. What fucking higher of threat does it need to fucking be? And the cops were, No, you say, that you need them when they show up. They don't fucking show up. All right. There was a fucking incident where someone blew their brains out and fucking all 30 fucking cops showed up. You want to know why? But if there's a fucking shooter, all right, tell that to any of these fucking events where there's a shooter and there's only one cop that shows up. Why aren't 30 cops showing up for that? Because they're a bunch of fucking scared pussies is what they are. And you shouldn't do that. If you can't handle the heat, don't be a fucking cop. Right? And so no, I don't even agree. Oh, if you one day you're gonna need them. Yeah, one day. I hope I don't need them. I'll have you Bosh and Meow Shy for that, because if I do need them, they're not gonna fucking show up in time, right? Maybe if I'm speeding, they'll show up. But if someone's breaking in my house trying to kill me, I'm gonna have to handle that one on my own through you Bosh and Meow Shy, because they're not gonna fucking show up in time. They never do, right? I've watched a lot of true crime and stuff, and they'll be like, hey, there's a guy breaking in my house. I'm going to shoot him if he breaks in. They're like, don't do that, sir. Don't do it. We have officers on the way. And then the cops show up like 45 minutes later, and they're like, oh, what happened? Well, I fucking shot him dead. The guy's dead. He's done, right? Because the cops fucking showed up so fucking late, right? But they'll show up like that if there's just like some disturbance that isn't, anything smart, right? Anything dangerous, I mean. It's just, anyway. And especially, and this happened in Vegas. I know how the cops are here. They fucking suck. They're a bunch of pieces of shit. They don't do anything. All right? And again, I'm not a guy that breaks the law. I just stay home most of the time. But if you need them, they're not fucking there. All right? If someone fucking blows their brains out, though, all 40 people will show up to, oh, let's see it. Let's go and look at it. But if you're trying to someone's trying to attack you, they're not going to fucking show up. All right? And they already deemed it. There is no obligation for police to help you when you are being attacked. You can look that up. Is it true? That police are not required to help you if you are being attacked? Now, they'll probably lie, but it's actually in like the law, right? They're not, yes, it is legally true that police do not have a constitutional duty to protect you from harm, even if you're being attacked, right? This has been repeatedly affirmed by the U.S. Supreme Court, which ruled that the government's duty is to protect, generally limited to individuals who are in police custody or state care. If you're being killed, they don't have to stop them. They don't have to help you, even if you're being attacked. They do not have to help you at all. So what are they there for? But their motto is to protect and serve. They don't protect, though. It is not. They do not have a constitutional duty to protect you. Then why is their motto to protect and serve? You're like, yeah, that's kind of, it's a public relations slogan. It's not legally binding, okay? So it's marketing. It's marketing. It's not the law. It's like it's a corporate slogan, just like Nike's do it. It doesn't create a legal obligation. They're not going to help you. So fuck them. What do you have them for? They're not here to help you. They're not going to intervene. They're not going to do any. What the fuck is the point of even fucking having them? They don't do anything. They sit around fucking beating their meat all goddamn day, fucking eating donuts. All right? They're a fucking waste of fucking space and a waste of fucking air. All right? And they're just centurions. Look up what a centurion. Look up Roman centurion. That's all they are. They're here to be bullies. They're a bunch of fucking bullies. And if someone's out there getting harmed, they're not going to hurt you. All right, someone's doing that. They're here to uphold Esau's paper yokes. Oh, you don't have a permit to be here. We're going to fine you for money. All right, and if you don't have the money, we're going to beat you to death. Fuck off. Fuck off, man. All right, I was still scared. And let's see what people are saying about this. You'll never hear any hate. Look, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. You'll never hear hate about firefighters or ambulance drivers, by the way. Just cops. Seems like they intentionally use the screeching of the tires to intimidate you. I didn't even watch. Just yes. Wasn't expecting that. They weren't being anything but professional. You don't have to be notified you're trespassing to be trespassing. You're in an enclosed private space. The fucking boot liquor. How's the boot taste, you fucking faggot? Anyway. All cops are bastards. I agree. That's all. They're there to be bastards. They're there to be antagonists. They're there to be what's the word that I'm looking for? Provocateurs. Okay, they're there to provoke you so you do something. Yes, sue them. You have proofs. Unless cops, and couple. I don't even fucking state thugs oppressing us with their authority. That's what they are. They're just fucking a bunch of they're Edomites. Average LV Metro officers. It's true. Lawsuit. All right. It says, sometimes I feel like I should move back to Vegas and see if I could get more officers fired. My record is 3 fired and 1 arrested. There's a pig walking in a G-string. Vegas police have no self-control. Sue. And it's true. They are so fake. Lying little bullies. And they are. They're a bunch of little bullies, man. And I've had nothing but issues with fucking cops. And things that I'm not doing. And when I was in Texas, they said I was smoking a cigarette back in the day. Well, this is way years ago. I was smoking a cigarette on the sidewalk for too long, right? And then they said, I said I didn't know because I was gonna smoke outside of the gas station because I just went in there, all right, to grab some stuff, and I thought once I purchased I was not loitering, but I didn't want to be there because they had a no loitering sign, so I left and I thought I'd smoke my cigarette on the sidewalk, and they said, well, you can't do that either. Well, the fuck am I supposed to smoke then? I can't fucking smoke out in front of the goddamn gas station. I can't smoke on the fucking sidewalk. Where do you want me to do it? Where do you want me to do it, right? And then they were like, and then they switched up and they said, oh, well, it's because you talked to these homeless people over here. What were you doing talking to them? I walked by and they asked me for a fucking cigarette. What the and that's what cops do. When you're out there and you're getting attacked, they don't help you, all right? When your car breaks down and need help, they don't help you, all right? When someone's robbing it, at one point my wife had a computer stolen from her. Did they help? No, they didn't help her at all right? You know who helped her? Her fucking credit agency. That's who. The police didn't help. They didn't go and contact the person. She knew who the person was. Gave them the information. Did they help? No, we don't have to go and do that. All right. Someone's being attacked. No, we don't have to go and do that. This happened. No, we don't have to do that. So what's the fucking point of having them? All right. So you can get in trouble because you fucking collected rainwater. Fuck off, man. Fuck off. Anyway, Habakkuk 2 and 5. It pisses me off with the cops too here. It fucking pisses me off because again, they don't ever stop. And that's the bootlickers. They all the fucking Edomites. Well, if you weren't doing anything, I don't do anything illegal. All right, I follow the Lord. I sit here. I make my lessons. I stay home. I watch videos, collect VHS and fucking cassette tapes, and play video game hardly ever. Right? That's it. Right? Go out to eat. Right? I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not selling dope. I'm not even smoking dope. I'm not doing any of those things. Right? And thankfully, I don't get messed with that much. But I've gotten messed with in this truth. Your lights out. Or one time, me and my wife were in the car, and I was drinking I had a soda. Right? It was a LaCroix. And the cop was like, what do you have? They're shining a light in the car, all right? What do you have in that? Is that an open container? What do you have in there? Is that alcohol? And I said, no. They're like, what is it? I'm like, a soda? And they're like, well, no. And I had my hands up on the dash. They're like, you can put your hands down. You don't have to have your hands up on the dash. Why do you have your hands up on the dash? I'm like, I don't know, because cops like to shoot people, right? I said something like that. I said, I don't know, for my safety, all right, so I don't get shot. And they're like, well, you can go ahead and put your hands down. No, because why? If I put my hands down, you still what? I go get my phone. Now he's reaching. All right. You have a guy that fucking shot into a car fucking 20 times because an acorn hit the top of the car. You got retards in fucking law enforcement. No, I'm gonna be extra careful because I'm dealing with a big giant retarded baby that has a gun. Fucking moron. Walk ye circumspectly, not as fools but as wise. So yeah, when you have a fucking licensed death machine that's walking around with half of a fucking brain and a fucking Glock, yeah, I'm gonna be extra fucking careful. right? That's, again, the scripture even says, agree with thine adversary quickly, right? In this day and age, he judge, jury, and actually go, pop, pop, pop. He moved. What was he doing? Oh, well, he was moving because you said get your license and registration. He went in to get his license, and you shot him because he was reaching. Anyway, that's Esau, man. This fucking evil fucking bastard of an individual, and the Lord's gonna take these motherfuckers out. All right, just gonna fucking take these motherfuckers out. These guys are evil as fuck. All right, here's a scripture. We'll close out with that. And this is the modern land of Idumea, modern Rome. Right? This is let's see. Isaiah 34:5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood and is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." And the Lord's going to bring death upon this place. One of the biggest reasons because of Esau. But it's because of wicked Jakes, it's because of the wicked heathen nations, but the big reason is getting Esau the fuck out of power, right? Because they're a horrible ruler, as we're going to be talking in eventually in one of these, right? And they can't rule for shit. They're proud, all right? They're evil, they're trigger happy, and they're just the fucking wicked, man. They're just fucking evil, and they're oppressor, and everything in the society, they want to blame black people. Oh, black people this, black people that, oh, the beaners this, Mexican fucking motherfucker this, and that. Meanwhile, they're the ones out there fucking kids. They're the ones out controlling the government. They're the one with the face on the money. They're the ones out here robbing people, scamming people, making to where you can't afford rent. You're not getting paid good. The food's too fucking expensive. All right, gas is fucking through the roof. But it's black people, all right? Our people are the problem. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It's us, guys. It's us. We're the problems. Even though we have nothing to do with the economy, nothing to do with the prison system, nothing to do with all the shit that's going on. But we're the issue, not them. All right, we're not the ones that were popping up in the fucking Epstein files, fucking kids. We're not the ones that were in these fucking CSEM rings. We're not the ones that are out here doing any of these things. But we're the issue, guys. It's us. Right? Because they fucking project, man. Because again, they like to control the environment, as it says. They like to control the environment. You guys are the problem. We're not the fucking problem. It's you and it'll always be you. And the Lord's gonna come back soon, and he's gonna get the fucking rid of the fucking problem. All right? He's gonna get rid of the fucking I can't even speak correctly because I'm all mad. All right? Slacking. Let me calm down. The Lord is gonna get rid of you, the fucking problem. You guys, you Edomites. He's gonna get rid of you. Right? And we don't have to do a damn thing. We're not going to hurt you. We're not going to even so much as flick you. But the Lord is, because all we have to do is sit back and wait for the Lord to do it. Why do we have to do anything? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Right? We don't have to do anything. All we have to do is sit back and wait. And you guys are going to piss and shit your pants when you see a black man, so-called, coming through the skies and cracking those skies open, man. All right? And it's going to be fucking hilarious. And Lord, when I'm alive and well, and all brothers and sisters that have fallen the Lord in truth and sincerity, we're alive there to see it, because we can't wait. Because you motherfuckers got to be taken out, because you're all prideful and shit. You have nothing to be proud over. All right? You have nothing to be proud over, man. The Lord's going to come back and fucking destroy you. So anyway, a little bit agitated, close out of this lesson. But yeah, man, that shit pisses me off. Because they're not out here stopping. You can fuck a kid and only do 2 years, right? But you don't pay some bill that was owed to a fucking big banker, and they'll send you away for 5. What the fuck what is that? Right? What is that? What is that? Okay? You get caught with a little bit too much weed, all right, in an area that's illegal, and they'll give you a felony and send you for 15 years. All right? But you can go and touch a little boy and only do 6. Fucking stupid, man. And let's go close out with that. We get this all the time. But Habakkuk 1:4. Therefore, let's go and yeah, 4 is fine. Yeah, it's fine. Habakkuk 1:4. It says, "Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth." Why? Because the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Let's go and make this a little bit easier. It means, they're larger in number. Okay? Right here, the NRSV. And it says, "So the law becomes slack and justice never prevails. The wicked surround the righteous, therefore judgment comes forth perverted." The wicked surround the righteous. They're in greater numbers than us. All right. So judgment goes forth perverted. They fuck around, do all sorts of evil shit, man. Can't stand these motherfuckers. And the Lord's got to come back and take these guys out. And he's got to, right? Because Esau is going to completely lose their mind. As the scripture says, lest those days be shortened. Because Esau is going to go on a fucking tyrannical bloodlust run. Matthew 24 and 22, and it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the Lord's going to shorten the times, because if he didn't, everybody would die. Because Esau is going to completely lose their mind and their wickedness, man. He's a supervillain, okay? But you got to realize that every superhero, a supervillain has a superhero that comes and takes him out. You know who that superhero is? The Lord. And he's going to come and wipe you out, man. He's going to wipe you out. And we can't wait. So that's where we're going to close out. Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak. Shalom, you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.